Well, my name is Sam.
I'm William.
Well, we're not doing a product of a basketball. Okay, it's not like a performance enhancing drug, it's performance enhancing basketball. That's what it is. And our form of business is a partnership. And the management style we use, the SWOT method, really strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Okay, our HR is basically anybody who would like prefer to work in this kind of field, really. Like it could be men or women of all races, it doesn't matter. And then really our ethics is really to promote the product through ads and commercials to an audience of people who want to play basketball or like they desire to play the game.
All right, any questions? There's one obvious question. Anybody know what it is?
How does this product work as advertised?
No. All right. You got a partnership. Now, what are you going to do about liability? Somebody gets hurt in your facility. Somebody breaks a leg. Somebody blows out their shoe like Zion. You know, what do you do for liability in your facility? All right, anybody want to help them out? What can you do about liability in a partnership?
You can do a contract.
Well, you can do waivers, where everybody has to sign giving up their right to sue. We didn't cover that a lot, but there is such a thing. You can buy insurance, a bunch of insurance, all right? You can self-insure. Put your first $25,000 away, so that if somebody sprains or breaks an ankle doing a drill, you can pay for their medical. Okay, but the point is, and I'm not trying to pick on the two of you. The point is, if you're going to pick a business or a product, you got to go through all 5 of the decision makers. You can't go through just a couple of them. You got to go all the way down to liability. All right, and answer that question as well. All right, thank you.
All right, my name is Jonathan Chavis.
And I'm Nick.
And our product is called H2O pads. It's a football pad with a built-in water system, so you can drink during plays and things like that. Our form of business is a partnership.
And our management style is democratic management style. We don't.
And well, since we're a partnership, we don't necessarily need a human HR. So,
All right, same question. What you gonna do about liability? I mean, you making anything that goes on that football field, you got to worry about somebody getting hurt.
Yeah, we got to make a waiver.
Okay. Any other questions? Don't be scared of a corporation. Semester after semester, doesn't matter what fact situation I give, doesn't matter what presentations, it runs about 90% partnership. Okay? It's just easier. It's easier for you to stand here and say we're partners. Don't be scared of a corporation. Right? You can do waivers for your football pads. When you go to Coach Knight or Dabo, or when you go to Beamer Ball and say we got the newest shoulder pads, and nobody's going to get hurt. First question they're going to ask you is, well, you're asking us to buy 400 pairs of shoulder pads. How do we know nobody's going to get hurt? And if your answer is, well, if you do get hurt, you can't sue us because we're going to have you sign this piece of paper. Okay, then you're going to have trouble selling. All right? So anything with that large a liability, helmets, cleats, shoulder pads, you really need to do a corporation so you have a corporate liability and corporate shield. And you could have done it exactly like you did. Okay, the two of you would have still been in control. You would have just sold some stock. You could have just sold 10 shares. It didn't matter. As long as you got a corporation, you got that shield, that protection.
Levi Moore.
and we're going to be manufacturing and selling tennis shoes. It's called Fresh Kicks. We're going to be a corporation, like through all major shoe brands. That way, we're protected under liability if anything goes wrong with the shoes.
And we're going to do a vertical flow chart. So CEO, HR, manager, and there will be one for the floor and the product output.
And as far as the hiring process goes, you're required to have a GED and no felonies, for obvious reasons, ethics, and whatnot.
And that's it.
Anybody got any questions? Jonathan, y'all talked about a democracy style of marketing, which is not something that I talked about. I love it when somebody comes up with something that I haven't talked about. That's a big deal to me. So that was good. So each one of you have brought something to the table. So if I'd have had 11 of you standing here, all giving the same presentation, I'd have been clapping and hopping up and down. All right. So the reason we're taping them and the reason that you're here to ask questions is ask them. Okay, I mean, let's put people to the test. What about liability? What about your HR? Okay, and if somebody has forgotten it, let's see what they can come up with. Okay, but so together, everybody's done well. Who's next?
Alright, so start off, I'm Tyrone, this is Jordan, this is Santiago right here, and our product is going to be a form of a cleat dryer, and our product name is going to be Dry Max.
Our form of business is going to be partnership. It's easier for the type of product that we have. Our management style is going to be outsourcing. The reason for that is we want to hire a human resources manager to help us find someone like an engineer that can help us design a product thoroughly instead of us trying to do it ourselves.
And eventually the idea is to, since we're a partnership, try to run the business ourselves, but with help of somebody else, which is why we're hiring someone that can guide us in the right direction so we can be successful and try to make the best out of the product.
And in terms of liability, we're going to have waivers for each product, but we're also going to have backup for personal insurance. All of us will have our own personal insurance. I think 2 layers of safety is always better. And pretty much a general bio of our product is if you've ever played any outdoor sports and you've ever had to buy 2-3 pairs of shoes or cleats or whatever because the next day you go to use them, they're wet. It's just an easy product to save you money, and it's also safe. So.
All right. I like it when I only mention something once and somebody remembers it. All right? When we were doing HR, the end of the class, I remember doing it. The end of the class, I wrote over here, outsourcing, and told you that, a lot of times instead of having an HR department, you actually can hire a company that does HR. And that can save you money. You don't have to pay them a salary. They come in, hire your people, fire your people, and then they're gone. So for Tyrone, for y'all to come up with outsourcing, I hadn't mentioned it but once, that's important to me. Good.
My name is Patrick Fonsa.
I'm Noah.
And we decided on a product being a universal electric car charger. And our company name was ECC Chargers.
So the way this product works, it's fairly simple. You can plug it onto a number of different charging ports, namely Tesla superchargers, since those are the most popular. And it plugs into the various different types that auto manufacturers today are putting out. We make them for Nissan, Toyota, Ford, pretty much any different charger that you can find. The way these things work internally, and this is also to help reduce liability, is we have them grounded into the charger itself, and then we also have them secondary grounded into a rubber fleece on the inside, so that way no one gets shocked using our product. And in terms of marketing, we plan to market this in 2 ways. One is put them in supermarkets and auto care centers such as AutoZone, and then we're also planning to market them to actual auto manufacturers and sellers as like an option. Hey, you bought an electric car, here's this so you can use your car in more places. Our form of business is partnership because we have done everything we can to reduce liability. However, we are personally insured and we are in the steps of making our company a limited liability corporation. And in terms of human resources, we're gonna have that because we're gonna need people for shipping, we're gonna need people for manufacturing, and we're gonna need people to just overall make a good team for our company.
Yeah, and management style, we have like a vertical flow, then it'll be materials, production, and manufacturing. But for like the manufacturing, we have a thread with like material and like, obviously we're gonna need employees, so that could be a weakness as well. And for the ethics, we have like we put more
Emphasis on family at our company.
families first.
All right, good.
My name is Rest, and
I'm
with me is
Raisin.
Raisin. So basically, our product is going to be Jamaican food, and the name of the company is going to be Rasta Eats with a Z, and the form of business is partnership. Our management style is going to be SWOT. We're going to use that to analyze how to run the business. And the human resources, we're gonna hire is like a person with experience in the food business, someone who has done stuff like that before. And the ethics is gonna basically situational ethics when it comes to analyzing the business, doing what is right for the business at that particular time. And when it comes to liability, we're gonna host the company insurance on the whole company. And finally, on moral ethics and management, we're going to be running free referral programs for whoever comes in, brings in one person or two, give you a free portion of the food.
This is a good time to add marketing. As you go through a practice test or as you go through a midterm exam and you're checking off what you find in the facts and what you need to write about. If I put at the end of the fact situation, these three partners don't know how to sell their product, or this corporation needs a better way to sell its product. That's a hint. That's a hint. You need to do marketing. Right? You can't just make it up. So you would check the ones that applied, and you would then talk about marketing. Now, before I go through marketing, let me teach you something that I normally teach the first day of class, and I just never did get around to it. I am a huge believer in what's called the power of three. The power of three means that our brains process information in threes. Okay, as you read, as you hear a lecture, as you play sports, your brain is doing 3, 6, and 9 without you even knowing. Okay, without you even knowing. It processes in threes. So if you are the point guard on the basketball team and you're coming down the middle of the court, you're looking for 3 people because that's what your brain sees. If your brain sees 2 people, there's something missing. If a play calls for you to look for 4, if Tom Brady is looking for 4 receivers, the 4th receiver is just a throw-off. Maybe they throw it to him, maybe they don't, because plays work in threes. All right, so does business. Eat more chicken. Walmart. Shop for less. You ever heard the term blood, sweat, and tears?
Oh, just do it, Nike.
Huh?
Just do it. I think we can.
Just do it. Good. That's a great one. Just do it. Be like Mike.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's
What, that's your girlfriend's or
No,
something?
that's a fast. No, that's ain't that McDonald's? Yeah. I'm loving it, right?
All right.
I ain't heard that one in a while though. But that's definitely McDonald's.
All right. Okay. Blood, sweat, and tears was Winston Churchill when the Germans were invading England, bombarding England. And Winston Churchill gave a famous speech and said, we'll never give up our island until we're all dead. We'll give all blood, sweat, and tears. Except, that's not what he said. What he said was blood, sweat, toil, and tears. And 50 years later, nobody says the toil because it's 4. We think in terms of 3. When you're doing your notes, I don't know how you would do it on your laptop, but if you're writing your notes, if you're writing a paper, if you highlight in 3s, you will do better on your test. You do better on your study.
Yeah, that's
Right?